What if a brand was so good at marketing that the next video they release doesn't feel like an ad, but still makes millions of people watch it all the way to the end without even realizing they are being marketed to? Because that's exactly what Red Bull has mastered. As a filmmaker and editor, I've watched thousands and thousands of hours of movies, commercial, YouTube videos, and brand content. And when you study the best of the best, you start noticing patterns. There are editing and storytelling techniques that every legendary campaign has in common. And if brands started using these today, the impact of their content would be insane. Red Bull is a perfect example for this, and I believe there are two main things behind their success: great storytelling and perfect pacing and sound. Let's start with storytelling. Because the moment that changed everything for Red Bull wasn't a commercial, it was Felix Baumgartner jumping from space. That wasn't selling an energy drink, that was telling a story. And every great story has three things. First, question and answer. Will he survive? Can a human do this? Second, problem and solution. The limit of the human body and the courage to break it. And third, foreshadowing and payoff. All the build up for one single moment. The jump. Viewers always want a payoff, and Red Bull always gives it. Because before you think about editing, before you think about shots, before you think about effects, you have to understand the bigger story. Red Bull doesn't tell stories about drinks. They tell stories about humans doing the impossible things. And that story drives everything. If someone doesn't serve the narrative, they cut it out. Now let's talk about pacing. Because pacing is how you tell the viewer what they should be feeling. Red Bull understood something very early. If everything is extreme, nothing feels extreme. So they build tension, and then they release it. Fast cuts before a jump, long silence right before impact, then the moment. In extreme sport videos, fast, chaotic pacing, then one slow, powerful shot. In animated videos, calm rhythm, then one unexpected twist. It's the same technique, just different tempo. Build suspense, release it, over and over and over again. And now the final layer, sound. Sound design is invisible, but it controls everything you feel. Red Bull doesn't choose music randomly, they choose emotion. Something epic, something minimal, something playful. Because as an editor, your job is not just to cut footage. Your job is to tell the audience how to feel in every second. And Red Bull does this better than almost any brand in the world. They don't use sound as a crutch, they use it as a weapon. So when you put all of this together, story that feels bigger than a product, pacing that builds and releases tension, sound that guides emotion. You don't get ads anymore, you get experiences. That's why Felix Baumgartner didn't just jump from space, he became a legend. That's why extreme skiers don't just ride mountains, they become symbols. And that's why even Red Bull's animated videos work, because they follow the same rules. Different format, same psychology. So the real lesson here isn't about energy drinks. It's about this. If you only talk about products, people skip. If you build stories, people want to live inside them. They stay. Red Bull didn't win with marketing. They won by becoming a media company that just happens to sell a drink. And that's why their marketing feels crazy. Not because it's loud, but because it's unforgettable. If you want to know more about video marketing from big companies, write it in the comments. I do really read them. And if you like the video, please like, subscribe, and I'll see you in the next one.